This is Amie. Everybody loves her. And I'm Andrew, her owner, and she loves me. Together we travel and go to dog parks and cool places for her to lose some energy. Join us. And don't forget to like, comment, or subscribe. We made it out of Denver quickly that morning and headed into the mountains. Our destination was Woody Creek, but we had no time limit, so that left us some time to just drive. We packed up the rented 4Runner to the brim with camping equipment, leaving just enough room for Amie to be comfortable in the back seat. We took 70 going west and then 24 going south, which took us between the Mosquito and the Sawatch mountain ranges, into Leadville. We stopped here for lunch and quickly realized that breathing becomes much more difficult at 10,000 feet than it is even at 8,000 feet. On our way out, I saw a moose for the first time, and we were able to find a sweet backwoods camping spot overlooking Aspen and the Elk Mountain Range. We were eager to check out the surrounding area the next day, as it was once home to the famed journalist Hunter S. Thompson. We'd seen the doctor's old compound on the way in. Now we wanted to hit up Woody Creek Tavern, his old watering hole. Hunter was an interesting man, and that's to say the very least. As a journalist, he covered topics that others couldn't, provoking readers with each turn. The man ran with the Hells Angels in the 60s, ran for and nearly won the seat for sheriff of Aspen in the 70s, and was a staple of American journalism as well as the counterculture for many years. He shot himself here in Woody Creek at Owl Farm in 2005 at the age of 65, which was 15 years later than he'd wanted to live. After a short drink at Woody Creek Tavern, we continued northwest on 82 to Carbondale, where we turned south and went along 133 through the Grand Mesa on our way to Delta. From Delta, we took 50 going southeast towards Montrose, which is where my family's from. I've spent a lot of time in this little town. I all but grew up here. This is where my mom and her siblings were raised and where my grandparents still reside. My parents live here now too, having moved back last year to help with the aging grandparents. From Montrose, we took 550 south headed for Red Mountain Pass and then Durango. After a few hours, we made it to a spot way up in the San Juan mountain range, but it was getting dark fast, so we quickly set up camp and cooked some steaks on the cast iron skillet. After that, I crashed, but the next morning, Amie was ready to play. She ran around all morning with different sticks in her mouth, proud of each one of them. I love this dog more than anything. She's a joy in my life, and I hope she can be in yours too.
Is that your stick?
This is her first trip where she's been allowed to free range, and damn, she did great. There will be more trips like this in the future.
Where's your stick?
She eventually came across a stick that was dangerous for our knees. We let her play for a little while, but soon there was a close call and we had to take it away from her. She then got distracted by this small aspen tree that was near Isaac's camp. She spent about 10 minutes gnawing and pulling at it until it eventually came down. And she just left it there. She killed it for fun. We couldn't stop laughing. Soon after that, we decided to hit the trailhead that was near our camp. Everything was stunningly beautiful, hard to take in, and even harder to capture on camera. I did my best. We came across some raccoon poop, which I had to stop Amie from eating on the way back. But other than that, she did great. When it came to the terrain, she proved to be a four-wheel dog, only getting stuck once, but pulling herself out pretty quickly. What this proved to me is that as a dog owner, was that I can take her anywhere, and she'll be okay. She comes when called if she's too far ahead, which she rarely does anyway. But when she does, she'll stop and she'll wait for us to catch up. I'm late on getting her out to do things like this, but the opportunity was much smaller in Texas, which is where we were for the first year of her life. But now that we're in Colorado, Amie has become a mountain dog. At some point, the trail ended, which it seemed to have been cut by a fire, and apparently this is where the fire was stopped. But the view was unbelievable.
Come here, Amie.
The San Juan Mountains could be seen off in the distance, over an endless mass of forest. These pictures really don't do it justice as to how colorful everything was. Green, yellow, blue, orange, everything.
This way.
It was insane.
Oh boy.
The amount of wild mushrooms in the area made me wish that I knew more about mycology. I would have loved to have been able to identify some of them so that we could have either used them in dinner or made them into meeting the mushroom entities that night.
You got it.
We definitely found some good ones as well as some poisonous ones, but I don't know enough to tell the difference, and the risk far outweighs the reward.
There you go, good girl.
If anyone can identify this mushroom for me, that would be greatly appreciated. We didn't eat it, but it definitely looked appetizing. Clouds begin to form overhead, giving us a hint that it may rain soon. We heard some thunder off in the distance as well, but it didn't end up raining on us until later that night. Or maybe it was the night before, I don't remember. On the way back to the camp, Amie seemed to have all the energy in the world as she zoomed up and down the hills and through the brush. She runs like a damn horse. I'm incredibly thankful to be here in Colorado. It's just so beautiful here. Part of me wishes that I'd grown up here, but I'm still thankful for my childhood in Loomis. Although I would have had the opportunity to be a role model to my younger cousins, which may have prevented some of my hedonistic activities from my past. But who knows? Different paths in life. Strange. After the hike, I started a fire and began to prepare to cook. Tonight was chicken breasts. Isaac set up his hammock in a spot to watch the sunset, and Amie kept sneaking off to go hang out with him. Eventually, she got in trouble for it, so she put herself to bed. I ate and then crashed myself. We watched the sunset that night before heading to bed. The next morning, we were packed up and out of the camp by 8 a.m. We started east on 160 and made it through Pagosa Springs, which also was stunning. I kind of then tuned out and took a nap, waking up near Fairplay. No idea at all how we got there. Thank you for watching Everybody Loves Amie. We'll be back with some more tales of our adventures. Like, comment, subscribe.